first motion we have is let's prioritise, which is quite poignant given some of the discussions we've already had today. It's on page 41 of your packs. Oh, it's on page 40, sorry, of your pack. Yes, there it is. And like I said, we do have an amendment put through for this one. And the amendment, sorry, is on page 41 of the pack. So if we go straight to it, we'll go straight to the speech in favour of the motion. And do I see a delegate nominated? So 2 minutes. You've got 2 minutes from when you get it.
When I get to the podium.
Yeah, I got told off last time for giving her 20 seconds from leaving her seat. She nearly broke her leg. So, okay. We have 2 minutes in favour of the Let's Prioritise motion starting now.
Okay, I think this is fairly self-explanatory, but you've just elected me as chair, so I can put my own motion first, because I'm chair, I have the power, and that's not right. The students should have the power. It's either the chair decides or it goes alphabetically, and that's not very democratic. So what this motion is about is for student council. Let's see the motions ordered in terms of priorities that the students themselves have come up with. Logistically, I've said this should be done by email. It needs to be done in advance, and it needs to be done from next student council onwards. So, are there any points of clarification?
Yes, so following the speech in favour of the motion formally, originally, we'll also have points of clarification for the speaker. This doesn't take into account the original 2 minutes, so if anyone has any points of clarification to ask Judith what on earth she's talking about, please do so now. Do I see anyone with a point of clarification? No? Okay, thank you. Now, we do have an amendment for this one, so we're going to go into the amendment straight away. And that amendment, I'm just being given lots of pieces of paper here. So, so we have... We see a delegate in favour wanting to speak for the amendment. And this is on page 41.
Yeah, just quickly, I've actually made an error in this amendment. So do I have to submit a part, or can that be changed?
Well, would you like to just, I think in favour of just moving forward, I'm happy to just say we'll just amend the amendment. So if you'd just like to say what you'd like to
Yeah, so UHISA further believes that there's a core of UHISA students that are more active than others. This is you guys, the people who actually turn up and say, yes, I'm going to come to student council, and then actually attend and all get involved. There's a kind of core group of people, and that's quite important for the second one. I've got only registered attendees who are full-time students may participate in the vote. That is a mistake. It shouldn't be full-time students. What I meant to write was just students. So obviously only students can take part in the vote, so those who are registered to attend student council, so you can't have students who aren't coming voting on the order of motions. And then a quorum of 2/3, because you get that core of students. So if you only get 3 people voting on the order for the amendment, the motions, then that doesn't make sense. There needs to be a certain amount of people voting to have this, this specific order. It's just to add things onto it, because apart from that, it is a good motion, and you do need to have some method of electing which motions you want to do in which order. So yeah, just to reiterate that, only registered attendees who are students may participate in the vote, not full time. That was an error.
Thank you. Are there any points of clarification for Alan on the amendment at all?
Sorry, I thought I saw Joe. Did Joe make some kind?
No.
I wasn't sure. I just wanted to be inclusive to the BBC people.
No, thank you.
One here.
Oh, sorry.
Why only registered attendees? Surely student council is for the students in general. It's about the expressing student opinion, which is every student. So every student should have the right to vote on the order of the motions.
Potentially, yes, but for instance, if I had 4 motions in that I wanted to get done first, I could get 20 of my friends who aren't coming to student council to vote for those motions to go on first, so that I'm getting my motions ahead of other people. I just think it's a way of making sure people are engaged and people see the motions, they want to vote for them, and they're like, I'm coming to student council. I think.
I have a question. It's actually for the chair. I should know this specifically before, but what if we are happy with one part of the amendment but not the others, or something like that? Can we be selective, or do we have to accept all or nothing?
Well, at the point at which doing the amendment, as far as I'm concerned, I think we actually accept the amendment, but then in part we could discuss that under parts. So we just, because the amendment we would want to discuss and actually vote on first in the general gist. So if someone's happy,
I think the part comes before the amendment is voted on as a whole.
In terms of,
If there's an amendment and then there's someone wants to take a part of the amendment, they vote on the part before the final vote on the amendment. Sorry.
yes. Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, but okay. So we do the amendment in whole as first, but then if there's any parts on that amendment, we go through to the parts on the amendment before we go through to the parts in the general motion.
Yeah.
So yes. So we would have, first of all, we have the full vote on the amendment, and then at that point we would say, does anyone have any parts that they'd now like to raise with regard to that specific amendment? And then we recap and go back to the motion as a whole, and then discuss that there.
I think I'm getting lost now.
You know what? We're going to play it by ear. We're going to see what suits us at the right time. Okay. So what we will do now is we will run through this amendment as is, but we will give you the opportunity in a moment if anyone would like to actually say, well, I like 3 but I don't like 4, or the other way around, or something else like that. And we'll talk you through it at the same time because it's actually up to chair's discretion how we run it. So as long as everyone knows what's going on at any one point, then that suits us. Okay, now at this point we do go to anyone who might have, we've had points of clarification. If there's no further points of clarification, would anyone like to speak against this? Oh,
just one more point of clarification. The word electorate, would you accept a correction, if you don't mind me using that word, to voting members, because that's what the Constitution talks about?
In terms of electorate, the electorate would be the registered attendees.
That's right. Well, in the Constitution, under the appropriate paragraphs, they're not called electorate, they're called voting members.
I don't think it's the same people we're talking about.
Membership of council, actually.
When you talk about registered members, you're talking about people who have, in terms of the Constitution, registered their attendance here today, which we don't do, of course.
So I think we're talking membership of council is what you want rather than electorate or voting members. So if you're talking about just people who are registered to take part in student council, is that right?
Yes.
You're looking for membership of council.
Okay, there'll be.
and that's in section
Voting
7.6,
Yeah.
so it does actually refer to
Voting members.
voting members, but I think that's something slightly separate. So we'll go with, so in terms of that, we will, let's just do this one now. Is everyone happy to amend the electorate to membership of the council? Can I just see a show of hands to see if that's good? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, and LDC 1.
You're required to count if it's unanimous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
17
Right,
then.
okay.
So everyone's happy with that. So actually the results will now read, only registered attendees who are students may participate in the vote, and a quorum of 2/3 of the membership of council must be reached before the vote is valid. So everyone's happy with that, with a unanimous vote on that. Okay, so now, if everyone's happy with those points of clarifications, we'll move on to a speech against the amendment. And Elsa.
I have to get there.
Yeah. And you have a minute
I'll be
when
extremely
you get there.
I just want to say that I don't think the first one, number 3, there's a core of students who are more active than others. I don't think that's relevant. I think that's just kind of making a point because I think some of us are a bit annoyed that some people aren't involved. I don't think that needs to be stated. Then I agree with you on this one. I don't think that it should just be people who are coming here who get to vote on the order because some people just can't make it. And that's not fair, you're discriminating against them. So I'd like to see, it might actually encourage more people to participate. If they can, even if they can't make it, they can say, this really matters to me, I want it first. And that's all I was going to say. So I would keep the last one, number 4, but I would like to get rid of the first 2. So it's kind of against and parts. I wasn't really sure when I should speak. So.
Thank you. Well, I think what we'll probably do is come back to that. We'll recap in parts because I think we've also got someone speaking against the amendment as a whole.
Okay.
So yeah, would you like to, at this point though, I mean, if you'd like to give another speech in favour, or would you like to waive it at this point and just hear the other? Okay, so you've got a minute when you get up. Thank you.
Okay, I feel a bit mean giving a speech against your amendment because you said it was a good motion and that made me feel proud. But actually, I have a similar problem as Elsa mentioned with UHISA resolves 3 in the amendment, so I won't go into that too much because we just heard from Elsa. But also, I think that if you have 3 people who want to prioritise, then that's better than none, or it's better than it just coming down to the discretion of the chair. And I think if you motivate 20 of your friends to vote for to prioritise motions at student council, then in some way they have been motivated towards democracy, and I don't think that's a bad thing. So I would just say that I think this motion, it could be biased, but I think this motion is fine without an amendment. So thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to recap to where we've got to, because we're saying we started with a nice easy one. We've got parts of the amendment and we've thrown everyone in at the deep end. So what we've heard so far is we're talking about the amendment on page 41 at the moment. We've clarified that there are a couple of tweaks to the wording which we voted on and everyone's happy. So the current amendment as stands, we've amended as I read it out the last time. Now, what we're going to do now is heard speech in favour of the amendment and against the amendment. I'm going to ask if anyone would like to hear another round of speeches on this as a whole before you vote on whether to look further at this amendment. Okay? So is everyone happy with moving on? Yes. I'm going to, right, everyone, can I just see a show of hands? I just need a majority opinion of, okay, so on. Yeah, and so, okay, so in that case, we won't have another round of speeches. We're going to move on to the vote on the amendment itself. Now, what we are going to do is vote firstly on the amendment, i.e. the 3 and 4 as follows. 3, only registered attendees who are students may participate in the vote. And 4, a quorum of 2/3 of the membership of council must be reached before the vote is valid. We're voting on that at this specific point. And then what we'll do, if that is approved, we will look into the parts which Elsie has just discussed. So first of all, can I see a vote? Who would like this amendment to stand?
I've got 3 in the room. Dane, could you tell me?
It's very dark out in VC.
Lewis Castle College, I think it is Bernadette and George. Could you turn on a light? It's just that we can't actually, we can see you there. But
If we could just...
they're on. Oh dear.
Wow. We could do... Joe, are you... where are we? We 4 amendments standing?
Yeah, so those in favour of
Could
the
everyone in the room raise their hands again really high, please? In favour of the amendment. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Thank you.
So we've got 3 in favour. Who is against the amendment as a whole?
We have
7.
We have 2 on PC.
2 on VC.
12. I think it's 12.
I think.
13. Okay, could you just put your hands up again really, really high this time?
If you could.
1, 2, 3, 4. So do we have a total of 11 people against? Is that your... And do we have anyone formally abstaining? You get a choice of in favour, against, or abstain on every vote like this. So is anyone abstaining? 2, 3, 4. So, okay, so we are actually looking at now, we've got 18 people. I think that is right, isn't it? 'Cause
We've gained 2, I believe.
Okay, so, and, right. Okay, in that case then, the amendment does not stand. It's rejected, so we don't need to look at the parts in any further. So what we're going to go back to is the original motion on page 40, and with no amendments. It's as is written here. All right, now, there were no parts, I've had no parts submitted. There's nobody who wanted to submit parts for this specific amendment as stood. This specific motion as stood? No, that's right. Okay, so in that case, would somebody like to summate with 30 seconds? Do you want to, right, Judith, waive the summation. Would everyone else like to summate? Just to, is everyone clear on what we're doing? This was our little test case that got suddenly a lot more complicated. So in that case, we're going to vote on what is written on page 40. Judith waived the opportunity to summate this. So we'll go straight to the vote. Can I see those in favour of this motion as written?
I think we have Joe.
Joe in favour, so I think
Do you
there's
think-
one on Kirsty.
Did I see John's hand up as well temporarily?
VC, if you keep your hands up.
Yeah, I've just come back in, so I'm reading and not caught up. So at the moment I'm abstaining. So that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, grand. Right, so we actually have 1 on VC, so it's 15 in total. Those against the motion?
Democracy.
Nobody actually against, and we have abstaining, please. Hold your hands high and keep them there. 3 on VC. So in that case, the motion passes as written on page 40.